Hello everyone, we're going to continue on in book number 1, aka the Sipapu Oddessy, and we're going to be starting on Glorious Death. As the car submerged and energy became visible above the vehicle, it was Diana's soul essence, which had departed her physical body as it had careened over the river embankment and crashed through the brush and boulders, still locked within the metal machine. Almost instantly, her energy essence was joined by a second energy which emerged from the vehicle. There was instant recognition between the energies as they hovered above the scene displayed in the river. Both energies were aware they were departed from the physical bodies within the automobile, but recognized no emotional attachment to the happenings below. They simply observed the activities with some amount of interest but total lack of concern. Both energies were aware of a total well-being, infinite peace, and overwhelming joy. They heard the voices of the onlookers with detachment, and at the same time were free and floating as if on the waves of strains of beautiful music. Both entities were aware of Bob's physical body as it lay broken against the rock and brush, but felt no participation within the scene itself. They were aware that the energy entity known as Bob was still present in the human physical form that lay beneath them. There was no longer need of their presence. They lingered momentarily to observe the activities one last time, as if observing some far distant play being enacted on an illusionary stage. They witnessed the frantic activities of the helpers in their efforts to free the two collapsed bodies from the automobile. They made an effort to draw attention of the onlookers towards Bob's broken body and found they had no way to communicate with the physical beings who were only inches from them. After observing the activities for a few brief moments, they turned away to face whatever lay before them in this new awareness. It was as if they were immediately immersed within what appeared to be a whirling tunnel of darkness. They were aware of entities present all around them as they traveled through the tunnel. At the distant end toward which they were floating was a brilliant light. The light seemed to reach out to them, to draw them into itself. It was as if they too had become less dense. There was such overwhelming love and peace that all connection to Earth's physical existence was evaporated from their awareness. As they neared the opening to the tunnel, there appeared more entities which were easily recognized by each. Each was also aware of the presence of other energy entities which they could only describe as angel forms. The light became more and more intense magnetically until they were thrust into the light itself. They too had become light, but not of such brilliance as that before them. The absolute love energy, for which the human entity has no description, completely engulfed them and dissolved them. They knew this love force could only be the God love itself. They had come home. As they dissolved within the light, there was recognition of total knowledge. Every minute portion of existence, of all time, all dimensions, was instantly and concurrently comprehended. They had become all beings, all things in infinity. There was no beginning and no ending. There was simply being. Out of the vibrations of the light itself came a voice which spoke to them. I am the source of all things. I am the creator of all. I am all. You have passed from what you have known as the third dimension. You have been brought through the shadows and veil of ignorance and darkness, and you have now become light. You have entered a much higher dimension than you could have ever dreamed of in your human form. As you experience the knowingness, you may also experience choices regarding your journey, which you perceive to be in your future. There is no time and no space. There is only thought. There is only illusion, and it is only through my thought that energy coalesces. into what you have perceived as matter. You are all, I am all. You are my thought creation. Therefore, you are simply an extension of myself. There is much perceived need, much suffering and pain on your planet Earth. That which you call Mother Earth, that beloved life entity which I created, is being diseased and tortured beyond that which she will no longer endure. She bore you and provided for you as human entities upon her skin and atmosphere, and you have brought destruction upon her instead of love and harmony. Harmony is the ultimate goal in the universe, and love is the only route by which that goal can be reached. Love is the most joyful of all my thoughts, so I choose to think it the most. You are precious to me as all of my thought creations are precious to me. When I created the human entity and gave him the emerald planet Earth upon which to experience, I also gave him freedom of will. Man has used his free will in many negative and hurtful ways. He was given choices, and he often chose the dark passages, and brought hurt and damage upon my other creations. All my creations are pieces of the tapestry of existence. Each piece is necessary to complete the whole man. To complete the whole, man has gained knowledge of technical magnitude beyond that which is his spiritual growth has matched. He has played with toys of destruction, which if unleashed can change the very vibrational order of the universe itself. I do not like to uncreate my thought manifestations. I like to bring my thoughts into existence and keep them for a while and enjoy them. Those entities, such as you, bring me great joy in your efforts to cleanse and heal your life source. It has brought special joy that there are those of you who are ceaseless in your efforts to bring to a halt atomic destruction. What you have known as hydrogen is a basic element of the universe itself. Physical death resulting from nuclear explosions and radiation of that substance damages the very frequency of the soul energy itself. As you stand here with me within the light, I give you a choice. Each entity has its own place in the universe, so each must, within its own knowingness, make its separate choice. You may not choose for each other. You may only choose your own direction. There will be made available to you the possibility of remaining in this present dimension within which you are experiencing. Should you remain in this particular dimension, you will be taught many truths. You will be shown many things. You would be taught these things so that should you return to your third dimensional form into your earthly house of physical human form, you might help your fellow human to find direction and truth. You would return as a teacher and a leader to facilitate the rebirthing of your earth planet. She is in great pain, and it will only be through the greatest of love and nurturing that she will be enabled to survive without a complete catharsis. Teachers and guides will be provided so that you can know your direction should you make the choice to return to that mortal form. Or you may simply choose to pass on into the higher dimensions of spirit energy. You recognize that you have passed this way before because you have. There is only now, and I know that you are here again to receive further instruction. The choice is yours. You may pass on to higher dimensions, or you may stay at this dimensional level for the instruction. Should you choose the way of the teachings, there will be another opportunity to make a choice of remaining in spirit or returning to the immortal form. I await your answer. You may simply experience the love and joy for a moment as I feel your joy and ecstasy. I see that you have made your choice. I welcome your participation. You bring me joy. You will receive knowledge so that you might return to earth in order to bring others to an understanding of me. So be it. I have summoned guides to assist you in reaching your teachers and a place to experience the lessons. You will recognize them as you have known them before. I summoned your brothers from what you have called space, from your own solar system. They are simply your older brothers who have mastered technology advanced of your human knowledge. Do not confuse them with the energies of the highest cause. They are simply advanced of you earthlings, and are available as assistants to render aid and assistance in this moment of crisis. I bless you. As the ultimate brightness withdrew and what appeared to be a misty vapor evaporated, the energy forms of Steve and Diana took on the substance of material form. From the distance, 3 entities moved rapidly towards them. The entities were dressed in what appeared to Steve and Diana as spacesuits. The suits were of metallic appearing material with close-fitting form. Boots were formed so well that they appeared to be attached to the suits themselves. The foremost entity extended his arms in welcome and to introduce himself as Yorgos. He turned and introduced the other beings with him as Hypkos and Athenia. There were warm greetings amongst the group, and a moment of utter surprise as recognition flashed through the group. There was an instant knowingness that Diana had been one of this group of cosmonauts in some other moment of time. Steve, too, knew that he had experienced a like existence, as the feelings were familiar and comfortable. He felt an overwhelming camaraderie with these people. Yorgos told Steve that the present group originated in the Pleiades and one of the moons of Jupiter. Yorgos had explained that there was much activity taking place in the galactic fleet level as activities on planet Earth grew to crisis proportion because of the nuclear experimentation and detonations. He also explained that he was a commander of one of the space commands and that these were his fellow cosmonauts. He said he had been instructed to make them comfortable in their new surroundings. There was an immediate eagerness to share old memories and wonderful anticipation of learning new and different technology. It was as if all the Earth experience had become only a hazy memory. The movement from one frequency vibrational dimension to another always produced changes in the memory data banks. The memory, however, would always grow sharper in the higher frequency, and what occurred while in a higher dimension would always be temporarily blocked when an entity returned to the lower dimensions. They were located in an area very similar to the canyon in which they had been in the river. Gorgeous variegated crimson and gold cliffs of stone rose above them in the distance, and they could look forward to a wide valley with trees lining a riverbank. In one or two places, water cascaded over the cliffs from above and joined into the stream bed in the valley. The view was magnificent. The earth itself seemed to be dissolved from the stone in that it was all of such gloriously vibrant colors. The air smelled fresh and clean, and the warmth of the earth felt good against their feet. Occasionally they picked up the scent of burning wood wafting through the air. There was only a bit of breeze now and then, and the temperature was mild and pleasant. The group chatted happily as they hiked along a well-worn path which ran beside the stream. As they rounded a curve in the canyon, a spectacular sight lay before them. The valley floor widened broadly, and the scene left Steve and Diana stunned. Directly ahead, and a bit to the right of the stream, was a craft of breathtaking form. It was obviously the craft from which the cosmonauts had come. It gleamed in the sun like a giant silver disk poised to sail into the distant forever. Questions tumbled through their minds one upon another, too quickly to be expressed. They knew they would be given answers, as would be proper, but it seemed as if their mental circuits were somehow jammed. As they moved toward the craft, the scene took on proportions of total fiction. They had somehow been placed in a situation which appeared to be somewhere between reality and fantasy. Farther up the canyon, which continued to widen and bend somewhat, was an even more unbelievable sight. Before them were fields in which Indians were tilling corn and some type of grain. There were also areas of tilled land in which green vegetables and root foods were being grown. At the foot of the canyon walls were dwellings of adobe. Farther up the side of the walls, in areas where the cliffs had long ago broken and fallen away, were tucked whole villages of ancient Indian dwellings. They had been placed in the midst of the ancient past, which had somehow become the present. As they looked behind them at the spectacular spacecraft, they knew what they had perceived as the future was also the present. They knew that whatever awaited them would be out of this world. And that'll be the end of that one. Thank you.